Good morning, welcome to Living Local. So we are here with my good friend Bree, and she is a magician with calligraphy. She's like one of the most creative, artistic people that I know. So whenever we had a spot open, I was like, Bree, will you show me how to do calligraphy? So, and of course, she was like, yes, of course, because she's always sweet. So, Bree, I know that you've taught calligraphy classes before, and you're gonna, I don't know how good I'm gonna be at this. This looks quite complicated with all this different stuff. What are some of these tools you have set up for us?
Absolutely. So I have taught many classes in the past. I've probably taught 150 people or so.
Oh, wow.
So I was doing that straight for a few years, and then I started getting into invitations and everything more. So now I kind of would do it more privately,
Sure.
or have a group of 8 or so girls. Like, it's great if they have wine and calligraphy.
Yeah,
and it's a fun little night out for the girls. But yes, so what we'll do today is a little bit of writing, and I'll show you some of the pens and everything.
Okay,
So
this looks really fancy. Is this the pen that I'm writing with?
that is the pen you will use. I use those all the time. This one's just a little fancier
It reminds me of a protractor. Like I should do this with it.
That is called an oblique pen,
Okay.
and it's a little different. So you would use an oblique pen because you're right-handed, is what you told me yesterday.
Okay, yes.
And this little extra piece on the side,
Mhm.
that is what gives you a slant when you're writing with right-handed.
Oh.
So
Are
let
you
me-
right-handed too or you left?
I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed too?
So with this pen, if you were a left-handed person, you would write like this. Because when you have a left hand, you already have a natural slant to your wrist.
Really?
So these are called nibs. I've given you 2 nibs to try today.
Nibs.
So how you want to do it,
Okay, help me.
put your pen on the table with this on the left, a little extra. Yep. And so your nib should be facing up. So that little hole, it's called the vent, should be facing directly up. Just so you see how the nib works a little bit, whenever you press down on it, the little tines separate. So that is where the ink flow is. So that's the whole way that it works.
Whoa, that's crazy. So this point has a little slit in the middle and it separates into 2, but you don't see that. But once you push down on it, it separates open. And you're saying that's where it holds the ink in between that. That's
So
crazy.
When we dip the pen into our ink, that's why it's called dip pen calligraphy, because you're using ink in a nib. Other, like brush lettering, you would be using a pen that has a felt tip.
Right.
And you might have done some of that stuff. You
never.
haven't done that either?
No,
Oh,
never,
I have
nothing.
those in the back if you want to.
The most I've done is those little pens you can get at Walmart that are just like thick and, and they're like, yeah, you can do calligraphy.
Oh, the chiseled ones?
Yeah, they're
They're
just,
not for me.
They're just,
I have to be extra.
they're fake, but they make you feel fancy.
That is
so.
their problem. So this is a little workbook that I do for all my classes. You can take it home and practice.
This is pretty cool. Did you create this whole book?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
This is awesome.
So let's jump to the little warm-up page, and I'll just show you the basics.
Okay.
And so how you hold the pen, you kind of want to have your finger in this little crevice. You're just kind of holding it, it's kind of balanced just straight into your hand, and you're more pushing and pulling it than like
straight
bearing
down. Yeah.
Because if you did flip it up, like if it was more like that, it's gonna flick your ink and you're gonna get splatters. So your hard strokes, the difference between this thicker stroke and this thin stroke is the pressure. So every time you would be going down, you're applying pressure. That gives you that thick stroke. So your tines are separating and you're getting more ink on the page. The thin strokes are when you're going up.
Really?
So that is going from the bottom to the top, and that is, you don't apply pressure, so that gives you a very thin stroke.
Wow.
So let's
This
dip
is
our pen
blowing
in the
my
ink.
mind. Okay, so how much do we dip in here?
So I do it right to the top of the vent,
Of this
and
thing?
that's the
Okay.
little hole that's there. So that holds your ink. So just start with some of the thick
of the
lines.
down
Start at the
ones?
top, and then just pull it down. Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Got a few practice lines, and then you can just keep going.
And just keep going with it.
Yeah, you
This
got
is
a
the
nice
coolest
slant
thing.
to it and everything. And
So
you get
the
used
hole
to
in
that.
the center is what holds the ink, you're saying?
Correct.
Wow.
And so you can see it doesn't take long for it to run out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is so much fun.